Hi, I'm Leanne Ely. I'm a nutritionist, a New York Times best-selling author, and some people even say I'm a life coach. I started the Daily Dish Show to share my story, my truth, and my journey to vibrancy, and to inspire others to do the same. Because it's all about grit, perseverance, and finding a way despite the odds. It's about embracing the whole woman, not just the parts that are easy to love, and feeding her heart, mind, body, and soul. But I found that this isn't just my story, it's your story too. It's go time. This is the Daily Dish. Hey, you're going to want to have that. Yeah, we're excited. And as a matter of fact, we're meeting as a team. Hi, Evie. Good to see you. Patsy, Martha, Jennifer. Hello. I might have missed some of you, but it's Monday. Aren't you excited? It's Motivational Monday. We have a new theme for the week. We have a new supplement of the week, which is vitamin C, by the way. Buy 3, get 1 free. Hello. SavingDinner.com/show. You know how I feel about vitamin C. It's like absolutely critical for your immune system. 100% critical for your immune system. It's a great deal. Check it out. SavingDinner.com/show. That's how you should be buying your supplements, by the way. Take advantage of our supplements of the week. Always we have something new, right? That's how we roll. Tonight we're doing the skin webinar. How to have gorgeous skin at any age. Don't you want that? Of course you do. We all do. So I say get on top of that. It is tonight. Now, if you can't make it tonight, that's cool. We will send you the replay, but it's at savingdinner.com/skin. Go ahead, open another tab if you're on your laptop or whatever. Open another tab and just get signed up. Do that now. I want you there. I've only done this once before, one other time. So I want you there for this because this is important information. I get asked all the time. How do you make pretty skin? How do you get your skin to tighten up? I'm going to be talking about all of that tonight. Don't you want to hear the goods? Hey there, Jennifer. There she is. I see Maria. Yeah, it's going to be fun. Nancy's here. I'm looking forward to it. And I've been loving watching. I've been a little fly on the wall for all of you who are in Inner Circle, watching you chat up a storm in our Slack channel. We have a Slack channel set up just for our lovelies who are joining Inner Circle. I will tell you right now today, this is something you should all be considering because we're talking about, this whole week, we're talking about the practice of becoming, stepping into your best self. That's what the theme of this week is. But we're going to be doing this for 12 weeks in Inner Circle, and it's for all of us. I want you to take a peek-see at the page if you haven't joined yet. SavingDinner.com/circle. That's where all the goods are. We have 4 seats left. That is it. And after that, shutting it down. We're going to be starting. We have a pinning ceremony. Yes, so many things. It's like a secret handshake club. I am telling you, whatever it is that you're working on or want to be working on, and whatever it is that you see as like, this is my next step. This is the thing that I'm thinking about. I'm telling you, this is the thing to do. SavingDinner.com/circle. Beverly, you should get on that. I'm telling you, you should get on that. You should be a part of this. I'm just going to say it. You too, Maria. And Doris is in there. Yeah, this is just, I know every single person who's coming in there. It's also how you get one, you can just tag me and get me that fast too, because I live and die and breathe by Slack. Also, you get the books. You get the book and you get the workbook when you join Inner Circle. You're in already? Well, there you go. I should have known that, Beverly. I'm so glad. SavingDinner.com/circle. Or if you just want the books, you're saying, I'm just not ready for Inner Circle yet. I don't know if I'm doing it again. I do know I'm doing it for this next 12 weeks, but I don't know if I'm going to do it again. I'm letting you know this because that's the truth. We shall see how all of it goes. But if you want the books, SavingDinner.com/crazy. That's where we hide them because it is called Getting Off the Carousel of Crazy after all. Anyway, all of that, blah, blah, blah. Are you ready to get started with today? I know you are. I know you are. really enjoyed this. Oh my goodness, I hope I have, where are my printouts? I didn't bring it. Shoot, or did I? I guess I didn't. Well, I was going to read you Kurt Vonnegut's. I guess I didn't bring it. I guess I left it upstairs on the printer. Well, that was dumb. Kurt Vonnegut wrote an interesting letter that I wanted to read to you because I thought it was so exciting, such a good letter. And it sort of spurred me on into this whole impetus of why I wanted to do this, why I wanted to even go there with this idea of practice of becoming. So Kurt Vonnegut answered a high school kid. This teacher challenged their class to write their favorite author and to persuade them to come to the school, right? So Kurt Vonnegut, okay, this is before he died. He passed away in 2007. So in 2006, he gets these letters, and Miss Ludwig's, I think it was her name, in her class, 4 of her students all picked Kurt Vonnegut and sent these letters. And so he says something along the lines like, this old codger, I'm an old geezer and I don't much go out and do public appearances anymore because I resemble an iguana. I thought it was hilarious. And he had this whole thing in there. He was 84 at the time, about becoming. He says, practice becoming. That's the story behind our theme of the week, is to practice becoming. And he said, I don't care what you do. He said, if you make, mud pies or you sing in the shower or, cook up a storm or whatever it is, but practice becoming who you are meant to be. And I thought of that for a while, especially women, how we so much apologize for who we are oftentimes. Have you noticed that? Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. Oh, I'm just here. We apologize and profusely push back at who we are. And we're constantly in this mode of apologizing for, I guess, taking a breath. I don't know. But it's something that we do automatically. Oh yeah, I forgot where's my, I don't even know where my quote of the week is. Everything's crazy. Here it is. Sorry, I forgot the quote of the week. Here it is. Time flies, but the good news is you are the pilot. Pretty good news, I'd say. Pretty darn good news. Thought I would share that with you. And because you are the pilot, let's just segue right into that. You can practice becoming all you want to. You can practice becoming the best version of yourself, because when we make this decision and decide, I am going to practice becoming the best version of myself, you are now taking yourself off of automatic pilot and putting yourself in the driver's seat, because you are the one who can make that decision right now to be the pilot. How about that? Is that not cool? That is the most cool thing ever. That's what I have to say about that. Because we have to recognize and understand that success isn't a single event. It's not just like until you get to here. We have a series of successes in our lives. We graduate from high school. We graduate from college. We have children. There's a thing here and a thing there. Cool. I love that, because it's not just one thing. We have success in finishing a needlepoint project or something like that. We have there's success. That one's done. Success isn't a destination. It's a series of steps that we take throughout our lives. Here's a success here. There's another one here. Here's another one here. It's not just about the big goal. It's about all of the goals and meeting them each way. That's how you become. That's how you become and get to practice becoming. Because when you practice becoming, this is how the real you bubbles up to the surface. And, we can maybe stop apologizing for ourselves so much. Have you noticed that we do that? I've noticed that we do that. I noticed that I've done that. Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to. Oh, and constantly. Now, there is, there's proper times, of course, for apologizing, but not all the time. not for just our mere existence, having this idea that I've got to be apologizing all the time. It's crazy. Yes, yes, yes. And Sarah, wait till you hear what I'm going to say, because practice, I was just going to say this. This is so funny. Sarah said, I love practice becoming because it takes the pressure off of us recovering perfectionists. And have you ever heard the saying, practice makes perfect? Well, strike that and let's go with practice makes excellence, because it does. When we put into practice the very things that we want into our lives, we practice long suffering, shall we say, practicing our patience, we practice meditation. We practice, doctors have practices. Practices are a yoga practice are just mean expressions of is what they are. And also you just keep doing them and doing them. And again, and again, and again. Ballet is, there's a practice, and we rehearse, and we're constantly doing it again and again to the best of our ability. And that doesn't mean that, we get to this nirvana of perfect. It just means that we get to do it excellently, and we get to do it in our time and the way we choose to show up. Same with our lives. Same with our lives. And when we are in this place and we've discovered, oh my gosh, I'm the pilot. How do you like that? Then we can certainly sit in that seat and steer that plane to exactly the place that we want to go and the woman that we want to become. That's absolutely crucial. So we understand then that success is not one single event, but rather events that we have throughout our lives. We're always in the practice of becoming. And Kurt Vonnegut basically said, becoming who you want to be so you might as well get good at becoming and learn how to enjoy it. I'll read that letter for you tomorrow because it's worth the chuckle. He's such a poignant writer and just hit the head just right. So I believe to practice our best self, to become our best self, we've got to step it up on several things. And I've created this master list that I'm going off of, and I'm using my own life as, that's my template right there. That's kind of the thing. And the first one is, I've already alluded to it, is to stop freaking apologizing all the time. Because I've noticed I do that. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. Oh, I'm sorry. Maybe I said, oh, thank you for being patient with me. Instead, I'm sorry for being late. How about thank you for being patient with me? See what I mean? Steering the boat a little bit different. Sarah says, I also love practice because it's for us. It's not a performance for other people. 100%. 100%. When we are performing for other people, when we put ourselves perpetually on a stage, we're not becoming. We're chameleoning, being a chameleon. We're dancing for others. It's quick draw McGraw and the, dance, kind of shooting at the feet of. That's not dancing for joy. That's doing for others. So here, look at me. I'm so good. I'm this, I'm that, No, that isn't becoming. That's just being and showing up for everybody else and not showing up for yourself. And I think there's a lot of times where we don't even recognize that we do this. We were basically taught, to perform for others, put a happy smile on your face, if you can't say something nice, don't say anything at all, which is true, but maybe it's time to speak up. Maybe it's time to say something and stop pretending. Because when we're pretending, we're not being our authentic selves. We are not becoming the very best of who we can be. We're just making everybody else comfortable. Have you noticed that? That's what happens. So I say, number one, we got to stop apologizing. We have to stop saying, oh, I'm just trying to do this over here quietly by myself. Stop apologizing and start just stepping up to who you are. Thanks for being, thanks for being patient with me. Thanks for, saying what you needed to say. Thanks for listening to me. Try that instead. Try starting, instead of all the apologizing, start thanking and appreciating instead. That's my big flip, my big twist, because I do this too. I completely apologize a lot, too much. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You know, if you step on somebody's feet, don't say, well, thanks for having your feet there. I mean, obviously, say something and say, I apologize for stepping on your foot. I didn't see that. That's totally appropriate. Number 2 is we got to speak up, ladies. How about this? No one, I don't know how many of you do this. I've certainly done it, and guilty as charged, where I've expected one of my children, Mark, somebody to read my mind. Because, I mean, isn't it obvious? And I'm going to tell you right now, in my 63 years on this planet, never once has that ever come to pass. Never. So what I have discovered is that when I speak up and say, this is what I need, or this is what I don't need, and I have a voice in this whole thing, instead of just keeping it in my head and actually putting vocal cords to my request, I get what I want. Or I don't, or I have to negotiate my way, or whatever. But the point is that we have to start understanding as grown-ass women to step up and step into the life that we want. We're going to have to make those requests known out loud, even to people we care about, right? This is absolutely necessary if we are to become the women we are intended to be. Remember, we're put here on purpose and for purpose. And you can't do that if you're going to be mealy-mouthed and scared to speak up. We need to speak up. That's why you've got your voice. You know, God gave us a voice. He gave men a voice and he gave women a voice too. And it wasn't so that women would just shut the heck up. You know, step up, say something, enunciate it so everyone can hear it. That doesn't mean you have to go stand on the rooftops and yell, I am woman, hear me roar, you know, giving you old Helen Reddy throwback there. You don't have to do that. Maybe you want to. Maybe it's time. I don't know. But do you have a voice in your life? Are you expecting people to mind read for you? Are you letting people know what your needs are and what you don't want? Are you? It's time. Yeah, grown-ass woman. You betcha, Beverly. So speak up. That is number 2. Number 3, stop automating your yes and no. Oh, this is a biggie. What do? We over-volunteer. We over-apologize too, but we also over-volunteer. Oh, yes, I'll do it. Yes, I'll help. I will go and make copies and stand there and make copies for 150 kids. I'll go and do this. I'll do that. You know, maybe you should instead say, I'd love to help, but let me think about that. I'm going to see if I have time for that. That might be a good idea. Or maybe somebody has said, hey, do you want to come to, you know, X, Y, and Z thing and be a part of this group that we have? And you say, no, I just couldn't. Stop automatically saying no because it's scary. Stop automatically saying no because it's pushing you out of your comfort zone. This is how we grow. This is how we become, by stopping the automation process on all these things. Because there are times in our lives where we have to start saying yes and really mean it. You know, let your yes be yes and your no, no. You heard that one before? We need that. We have to do that because we can't just, you know, how about maybe a lot of you out there have grandchildren. Maybe the kids just said, hey, Mom, can you take the kids for the weekend? And you had plans. Well, okay. Maybe you say, no, I've got plans this weekend. And what are we going to do? You know, because it's about you, you know, this is how we become. And this is how we take our place rightfully in this world and stop shrinking back from who we're supposed to be. That's how you get to use your voice. That's how you get to use your talents and your time. That's how you get to be here on purpose and for purpose, because you're not afraid anymore. This is big stuff, you know. Stop automatically You know, feel selfish? Oh, Lisa, I haven't even gotten to the selfish part. Hold on, put your seatbelt on, sister. We're going in. And number 4 is, I always want to say this, speaking of selfish, self-care isn't selfish. Self-care is the thing that you need to do for yourself so that you can be yourself. If you're not taking care of yourself, are there going to be people standing outside, lined up outside your door, knocking on the door saying, hey, can I help you take care of yourself? Absolutely not. I've never had that happen to me. You know, if I don't schedule something and do something for myself, it's not going to get done. I keep saying I want to go get a manicure. And today, what did I do? I took out the clippers and just knocked all these babies right off my fingernails. Didn't take care of myself. I want to do that, but I haven't done that. So guess what? You know why it's not there? It's not on my schedule. My self-care is going to get in there. I'm going to get in there. I am going to do this for myself. It's a little self-care thing. It's not a great big deal, and it doesn't need to be, but I count. I matter. And if I'm going to become the best version that I want to be when I grow up, if I ever do, then I'm going to damn well have to go make a little appointment and go get my nails done. You know, it's not, my manicurist isn't going to call me up and say, hey, it's time, girl. You haven't done it in a while. I'm the one who needs to step up and do the thing. Whatever it is that you decide that you need to do, your self-care isn't selfish and no one's going to do it for you. It's time for you to step into that wonderment of loving yourself enough to do the self-care things you need to be doing. Drinking enough water, moving your body, getting your nails done, and sitting in a tub and sipping a glass of wine, maybe by candlelight with some beautiful music, right? Patsy says, I choose me, and Pinky's up for that. Pinky's up. I choose me too, because you count. Yes. Yeah, right. Oh, gosh, good one. Sarah says, it seems like we have an aversion to the word self. No. Selfish is a weird word because it means being all about yourself. And there are times we have to be selfish. We have to be about ourselves. If we're not, what's going to happen here? If we're not about ourselves, nobody else is going to be about ourselves either. So yeah, maybe it does seem selfish to stop out automating your yes and no. Maybe it does. And putting yourself first on some of these things, maybe that does seem selfish. But you know, we've laid down everything, a lot of us, for children, for our spouses, we picked up and moved. I moved, when I moved to North Carolina, I moved sight unseen, picked up and moved 2 little kids. Sure, I'm going to do that, you know, because for the better good, for the better good, for the better good. And I did it all the time, all the time. I did it all the time when my kids were little. I mean, all the way up until all of a sudden that day that I told you about, in the dressing room with a nursing bra on and my children are teenagers. That's how bad it had become. So if I'm going to become the very best that I'm going to be, I'm going to choose the pretty underwear. I'm going to choose myself. I'm going to spend the money and do something for myself. I'm going to start seeing myself from that lens that self-care isn't at all selfish. It's necessary. 100%. And those little things that we do for ourselves, these little things just say, you know what? I care about you, Leanne. Look at Jenny's fingernails. She always has beautiful fingernails. Why? She does. That's her self-care thing. She goes and gets her mani-pedi. She does all the time. And, you know, she'll put a little side. I'm going to go get a mani, but whatever. I'm always like, yeah, you go, girl. We got to go out there and do that too. We have to put ourselves into the picture. This is what we do. And number 5, I've got 5. Stop accommodating immaturity and arrogance. Oh, I've got something for you. So here's where you see this. Social media, anyone? Have you ever had, and I've done this a couple of times and now I've opted myself out of this, where you've had a conversation with somebody who sees something diametrically opposed to you. You know, you're going to have this like conversation. Why? Why would you invest your time in this kind of a thing? It's this close to becoming a troll. It's like, this is why I won't. Once upon a time I did, I dipped my toe into something a little political or a little, and now I'm all about rainbows and kisses and puppies and all of that, because I am not about to engage anyone in a conversation if we are in this diametric opposition. Why? What's the point? Am I helping anything or furthering a cause? Absolutely not. My little tiny corner of the world, I choose to light it up with light and love and empathy and caring. I don't need to prove anything to anyone. I finally got to that place. So the arrogant, posts that you see of people make it like, suddenly everybody's, an expert on COVID-19, Oh, I see all of it all the time. And I don't engage in the discussion. No, it doesn't do a thing for me. It doesn't add to helping solve the world's problems. And I don't need to stand on a rooftop and announce how I feel about all of this. I do not. You know why? Because I am living my true self. I'm living my life as best that I possibly can. And my example of who I am, that's enough. That's enough. And you know what? You go on my Facebook feed and you're going to find nothing but love and sunshine and roses and skip to my Lou, my darling. That's it. Not going to see anything else. If it adds to the controversy, I won't add to it. I won't be a part of it. And if I see something, I'm scrolling and I see somebody and they're starting to get into it, because you should see in my wellness world, they're everywhere. They're on one side and way on the other. And I'm just like, oh, my head's going to explode. I'm just going to leave it alone. Keep walking. Also, think about this too. How about, this would be my family. Well, not my immediate, my children and my little lovey-dovey circle, but outside of it, we have people who don't get along, So I read about this woman who, she would have 2 birthday parties, one for this group of the family and another one for this group of the family over here. Stop accommodating that nuttiness and instead invite them both. And if they're going to Hatfield and McCoy's, kick them out, have them do it somewhere else, but stop accommodating arrogance and immaturity. If they can't control themselves at a birthday party, it's crazy. Becoming your best self means you are unapologetically you right now. And you know who that is. You're not squashing her down into a box. You're not shutting her up and telling her not to say anything or rock the boat. Sometimes the delivery needs a little help. Sometimes we need to soften the edges a little bit. That's me right there. I admit it. I sometimes I come across harsh, and I do not intend it on purpose. It's partly habit. I'm direct and harsh. So clean that up, soften it up, be sweet, be gentle, be kind, be empathetic, but be yourself. There's no room for anybody else here except you. And if you're put here on purpose and for purpose, if you are the apple of God's eye, if you are fearfully and wonderfully made, then how is there ever going to be room for a pretend you? God put you on this earth to do something, And sometimes it's a little something over here and a little something over there. And sometimes our purpose changes as our lives change. And we have success here and we have success there, just how it is. Things progress. That's how life is. We get older. And hopefully we get wiser too. And we recognize when we're not being authentically 100% who we are. So that's why this whole week we're going to be talking about the practice of becoming and becoming who you authentically are. Because when you start stepping into this, you're going to start stepping into your very best self. Put here on purpose and for purpose. Absolutely critical. So Can we just pinky up on this one and start showing up and stepping out of our comfort zone and maybe even allowing for the great unfolding of your very best self? What do you think? What about that? You know what? I'm going to tell you right now. I know this with all of my heart. You're worth it. You're worth the time. You're worth the energy. And everything about you is just completely unapologetically you. And I'm so grateful for that. So start stepping into who you are. Let's become the women that we've been called to be. And we do that by stopping the automatic yes and no's. We do that by becoming enamored with self-care. We do that by stopping to accommodate the immaturity and the arrogance that's out there. We do that by speaking up. And we also do that by stopping this apologizing for being ourselves. You're beautifully, wonderfully, fearfully made, here on purpose and for purpose. Amen. Peace be with you.
Thank you for joining me today. You can find me on TikTok for daily tips to help support your most vibrant life. And remember, you are the author of your own story. Until next time.